Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 2 and today we're going to cover Let's Celebrate, Pronunciation, Conversation and About You. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Saleh Al-Ajan. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson you will be able to produce the low stress sound of pronouns and also answer questions from a conversation and be form a conversation with a partner. Before we do this, let's make quick revision on our last lesson. Last lesson we had the grammar rule, which is the subject pronoun, and we have talked about how can we differentiate between the subject pronouns and object pronouns. And we said that we usually use the object pronouns after a verb. So as you can see here, we use the subject pronouns usually, or the object pronouns after a verb. So here we have already know what is subject pronouns, that we use them when we talking about any action. For example, I play football, he travels to Mecca, and so on. So we already know what is the subject pronoun, but on the last lesson we learned what is object pronouns and how can we use them in a sentence. And we said that we use always the object pronouns after verbs, like we can see here. He knows me, I know him, they know him, and so on. And also we have talked about three verbs: need, want, and like. And we said that we use usually the verb need when we're talking about something that is important, when we're talking about a necessity. And we said that, for example, what do you need to buy for the celebration? So this is something necessary, something you need to buy because you have a celebration. We need to buy some snacks. And we said that when we use want, it's when we talk about something for or to use for specific time. For example, do you want to invite your friend? Do you want to invite your friend? Yes, I want to invite him. So here we use want to talk about something that should happen in a specific time. And also the last one, when we're talking about like, so we use like to talk about our preferences. What are the things that we like or love and the things that we don't. So do you like to watch parades? Yes, I like to watch them. So here, this is the difference between these three verbs. Need, about necessity. Want, something you want to do in specific time, and like it, about preferences, the things that you like. And also, as we said, that we use let's plus verb to make or agree to suggestion. For example, when you ask someone, what do you want to do now? He said, for example, I want to play football. Then you make suggestion like, let's play a game. And also, if you ask someone, what do you want to do now? Maybe he said that to talk, for example. You can have, you can use let's to be an example like this. Let's have a conversation. So we always use let's plus a verb just to agree to something or to make a suggestion to someone about an action that he wants to do. And also we have listened to the invitations on telephone answering machines, and we said that we need we have different celebrations like Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, graduation party, and we have divided this table into three topics: day, or time, or place. So we said that we need to listen to each one of them, and also we need to identify what has been said to each celebrations. And here we have the answers from last time. So now for our lesson today, I would like you please to open your books on page 51. I would like you please to open your books on page 51. On page 51 we have a pronunciation. In this exercise we have object pronouns that do not usually have a strong stress in normal speech. They are said quickly. Let's listen to the pronunciation of him, her, and them, and then we'll practice it. So sometime the object pronouns we have, for example, him and her and them, when we use them in a sentence, it will be pronounced quickly, and maybe it's not noticed. So let me here read it to you, and you will see how quickly I read them as a regular context. So the first one, does he know him well? Does he know him well? So here I pronounced him quickly, the object pronoun. This is does not have a strong stress. I didn't say, does he know him well? I said, does he know him well? So here we can use him or her, or as of course them, when we talk naturally, and you cannot notice these objects. So let's read the second example. Does he know him well? He knows him very well. He knows him very well. Does she call her often? Does she call her often? She calls her every day. She calls her every day. Do you ever see them? Do you ever see them? I see them often. I see them often. So here, as I have pronounced, we usually with this object pronoun, we pronounce it quickly, as no one could notice that here we use the pronoun him or her or them. So now I will repeat again. This time you try to repeat with me while I pronounce each sentence. So the first one, does he know him well? He knows him very well. Does she call her often? She calls her every day. Do you ever see them? I see them often. So here, how can we pronounce the objects, pronouns of each of them? And now, let's turn to page 52. Let's turn to page 52. On page 52, I would like you to have a look at the pictures you can see in front of you. On page 52, I would like you, please, to have a look at the pictures you have in front of you and answer me those questions. Where are the people? Where are the people that you can see? Very good. They are at the pizza restaurant. And what do you think they are talking about? Try to make a guess, and we'll see after we listen to the conversation whether you guessed right or not. So try to guess, try to remember, or try to think by having a look at the pictures, what are they talking about? And after this, let's see, after we finish the conversation, we'll see that if you have guessed correctly or not. So now, let us move on to the conversation. Here we have a conversation between Amr and Said. So what we need to do is that we're going to listen to the conversation, and as we always do, we're going to listen to the conversation twice. The first time, you only listen for listening, and for the second time, you listen and try to focus on some of the information that have been mentioned in this conversation. So let's begin with our first listening to the conversation between Amr and Said.
Saeed, do you know Adnan?
No, I don't know him very well. Why?
Well, he's my cousin, and he's going to have a graduation party on Saturday. Why don't you come along?
Where is it going to be?
He's going to have it at home, and we're going to have 2 game consoles so we can play in teams. Oh, yes, there's also going to be lots of pizza.
Very well. Now we will listen for the second time, and this time let's try to focus on the a bit of the information or the content of this conversation between Amr and Said.
Saeed, do you know Adnan?
No, I don't know him very well. Why?
Well, he's my cousin, and he's going to have a graduation party on Saturday. Why don't you come along?
Where is it going to be?
He's going to have it at home, and we're going to have 2 game consoles so we can play in teams. Oh, yes, there's also going to be lots of pizza.
Very well. So now we have listened to conversation between Amr and Said. And we can see here that Said said that he doesn't know Adnan, and Amr invited him to the graduation party, and Said asked where is it going to be, and Amr said it's going to be at home. We're going to have 2 game consoles so we can play in teams. So he said there is also going to be lots of pizza. This is what Amr suggested to Said. So Said is still didn't answer or didn't agree whether he would come to the or to this graduation party or not. So what do we need to do here? We need to choose our own ending. Put yourself in Said's place. What would you choose? Would you say, for example, number 1, sounds like fun, tell me how to get there? Or number 2, I don't have an invitation, too bad. Or number 3, sounds great, can we go together? So if you were in Said's place, which one would you choose? Would you go to the graduation party and choose number 1, like fun, tell me how to get there? Or would you choose number 2, which is I don't have an invitation, too bad? Or number 3, that sounds great, can we go together? You suggest that you would go to with Amr together. So what is your favorite ending? You can choose one of these 3. And now this is the conversation, and what we need to do here is we're going to answer questions about this conversation. So number 1, does Said know Adnan well? Does Said know Adnan well? So based on the conversation, what do you think the answer is? Very good. The answer is no, he doesn't. And Adnan is Amr's cousin. And number 2, where is the graduation party going to be and when? According to Amr, where is the graduation party going to be and also when? Very good. Yes, the graduation party going to be at Adnan's home on Saturday. On Saturday. And number 3, what are they going to have there? So Amr said to say that there are something that's going to be there. What are they exactly? Do you remember? Very good. Yes, they are going to have 2 game consoles and pizza there. So here you have the answers of the first 3 questions. And now we have, let's move on to the section of your turn. So imagine that you're going to invite a friend to a graduation party and you will have a conversation that is similar to this. So let's try to complete this conversation together. So let's start with the first one. So as we have learned from the last lesson, when you want ask someone to come for a specific place or specific time, we start either, we said, do you want? We said, do you want to come to a graduation party? Do you want to come to a graduation party? And of course, when you are or when he answers, he's going to ask you about the time. So here, great, when? So since we're going to talk about a graduation party, we would say, when is it? When is it? So at what day? So the answer will be, you can choose the day you have planned. Maybe you can say it is on Monday, for example. It is on Monday. And he said, okay, so now we know where, when, now we need to know where. And also the question will be, where is it? So this place or this graduation party, where is it? So here you need to have a specific place in mind. You can say, for example, it is at home, maybe your home, around. So here we can write home. Around, you can choose the time, maybe 8 p.m. So here we have a simple conversation that you can continue with your own suggestion or with your own words. So try to speak to a family member or maybe a friend of yours or a classmate just to have this conversation with them and see what are the answers that you come up with. So The last thing we have for today, which is about you. Here I have questions that is about you, which I need you to think of when you answer. The first one is, what do people usually do for graduation? So if there is a graduation party and you invite a lot of friends and a lot of family members, what exactly people should do there? I can remember, or I can say that they play together, they talk to each other, they maybe celebrate and talk about their studies. So, do you agree with me? Or you have something to add to the activities that I have just mentioned? Just think about it. And also, number two, what are you going to do for your graduation? Imagine that after 2 years you're going to graduate from the intermediate grade. So what are you going to do for this day or for your graduation party? Are there any specific activities that you would like to add? Are there any specific games that you want to have there? So just think of these of that day and what are the things that you want to do at that time. And number three, what is your favorite holiday? So among all of the holidays that we have talked about, like in the last lesson, like for example, Eid al-Fitr holiday and Eid al-Adha holiday, and also we have talked about the national holiday. So all of these holidays, what is your favorite and why? So just talk about it. You can say, for example, I like Eid al-Fitr because it's the first holiday that we had in 10 months maybe, and we can celebrate the ends of Ramadan, and we can get together and go play together and visit different relatives. Or you like, for example, Eid al-Adha holiday, because maybe you can say that because we celebrate the pilgrims, people who come from Hajj, and also we can eat different kinds of food at that holiday. Or you can say also that you like the national holiday, where you celebrate the national day and you can go out in parades and celebrate and wave the flags. So just think of your favorite holiday and think about it and tell me, why do you like it? And the final question, number four, how do you celebrate it? So as we can see, or as we said in question number three, when you talk about a holiday, how do you celebrate it? If you like to, for example, if your favorite holiday is Eid al-Fitr, how do you celebrate Eid al-Fitr? Is there a specific place you would like to go to? Are there specific people you want to meet? Are there specific place that you would like to visit, for example? So how do you celebrate Eid al-Fitr? Not only this, let's talk about Eid al-Adha. How would you like to celebrate Eid al-Adha? Would you like to share with your father or your grandfather the rituals that people usually have on Eid al-Adha? Would you like to go with them to the Eid prayer? Would you like to have to wear formal clothes? So what exactly or how exactly do you want to celebrate Eid al-Adha? And also when we're talking about the national holiday, how would you like to celebrate national holiday? Would you like, for example, to do homeworks about our great nation and how it has been founded, or you want to talk about using to walk in parades and wave the flags, or you want to participate in school projects about our national day? So just think of your of your favorite holiday and think of it and tell us how would you like to celebrate it. So here we have a very important 4 questions about you, and you need to think of them and come up with the appropriate answers. And now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.